Now, this is exactly the type of film that Wang Baoqiang had in it, and I'm glad we all finally get a chance to see the kind of results that he can produce. Hi, I'm the Artie Dans from the Asian Film Fans and Artie Dans YouTube channels, and I welcome you to this review of the Chinese drama action film Never Say Never, a movie inspired by a real event. Teng Hui is the manager of a sand mine that's losing money. Previously released from prison for assault and doping charges, he was once an up-and-coming MMA-style fighter. He's tricked into starting an MMA club by a sleazy businessman who's trying to defraud the government, and is encouraged to find some homeless children to help pull off the scam. However, he instead decides to train the children to put on fake fights, but he's called out for it. The fake fights turn real and end up attracting attention from parents who want him to train and feed their children, while at the same time he continues to develop the two oldest boys in his care, Mu Su and Ma Hui, who become champions of the sport. But a decade later, a video surfaces of their brutal first fight, and scandal erupts that questions his ethics. First off, a very big special thanks to the team down at China Lion. They are the official distributors of the movie here in Australia and in New Zealand, and the movie is set to release theatrically on August 3rd, so please check your local cinema listings for times. Now, a lot of people know Wang Baoqiang from his Hong Kong movies like Iceman or Kung Fu Jungle, where he starred alongside Donnie Yen, or his role as the villain in Fairy Tale Killer, not realizing that he had a long career before that in the mainland. Now, of course, nowadays, he's known for his role in Detective Chinatown. However, last year, he released a movie that was kind of a biopic about his life and how he got into filmmaking. Now, that film was not well received, but I'm glad it didn't stop him from wanting to direct more films, because this film is fantastic and showcases his talent in film. Now, I prefer watching him in these more serious roles. I don't like his comedy stuff because I think he always tends to play this buffoon, and while he kind of pulls off the look quite well, he also tends to overdo it. When he plays to his strengths, which is fighting, and he is a well-trained martial artist, then the results are well worth watching. There's a bit of a drama element to this film, and those scenes are actually handled quite well. There's actually a standout scene where he's in the police station talking to the salt mine manager after he's arrested. And the camera angles and composition of the scene and the shots that add a lot of feeling to an already pretty powerful scene. But then it's the way that he's actually wrangled the absolute best out of these child actors. The two kids who play the younger Mu Su and Ma Hui are just terrific. And he manages to choreograph a couple of very tight and explosive action scenes. These are pretty brutal one-on-one fights with these two boys who can't be any older than, I would say, 10 or 12 years old. But the real highlight of the movie, without a doubt, is that final fight. Now, without giving too much away, because I don't want to spoil the film, there's this inspired switch to presenting that final fight in black and white. And it gave me this feeling of Raging Bull. Now, that's probably more of a coincidence than anything else, and I doubt very highly that Wang Baoqiang has looked at Raging Bull for inspiration. But this scene's, it's not just a fight. It's a redemption. But it's the presentation of this scene. It's something that I haven't seen in Chinese cinema before. It is slightly over-edited, but there are some absolutely inspired camera angles in that shot. And it wraps up the movie perfectly, hiding the brutality being presented in black and white, but also eliciting quite an emotional response from the audience. You'll see it at the end of the film, obviously, and you'll be able to make up your own mind when you watch it yourself. There's also a couple of great cameos in this film. One from Xiao Yang, who plays the sleazy businessman, and another from one of Wang Baoqiang's kung fu buddies in Tsing Yu, who plays a dodgy gym owner. And I really enjoyed seeing both of those cameos. And also the pacing of the movie is really spot on. It's 2 hours, does not feel like it. But it's not perfect. And the movie kind of forgets about all the other children towards the end. And we actually don't get to know too much, if anything, about all the other children other than the two boys in the film. It also handles some of the emotional scenes very heavy-handedly. Now, that's to be expected from both a Chinese film and for a film that is wanting to appeal to a very wide audience. And it has to be said, it has appealed to a very wide audience. This movie is currently, right now, the fourth highest earning or highest grossing Chinese film at the Chinese box office for 2023. And my guess is it probably will end the year in the top 5. Word of mouth has been very kind to this film, and it currently has a user rating of 7.5 on Douban, which gives you a bit of an idea. And that's also why I give the movie 4 stars. I think it's an extremely enjoyable film, and it finally showcases the talents of Wang Baoqiang, and I honestly hope that this movie leads to him directing more pure kung fu movies, because I think out of everyone in Hong Kong and China right now, he's probably got the talent to pull it off. It's a pretty big call. I understand that. So if you've seen this movie, what did you think of it? Is this a movie that you want to see? This movie is currently generating a lot of word of mouth and seems to be quite popular. So a lot of people do want to see it, and a lot of people are going to see it. So if you have seen it, please leave me a comment below telling me what you thought of it. Press like if you enjoyed this video. Otherwise, catch us on the rest of our reviews that are coming very shortly for some very big Chinese movies. See you next time.